Morning, Gitlab. My name is Christopher Leffoltz. I'm the Senior Director of Development, and this is the Development Group Conversation. I would just like to preamble the normal question and answer session with a quick introduction. We have newer members to the GitLab family and 3 interns who started this week, but we actually have the youngest edition that we want to introduce. Tim, can you go ahead?
Yes. Here is Patrick, if he's looking into the camera. There you go. Say hello to Patrick. He's 4 weeks old and my second GitLab baby, as my first son was also born 2 weeks after I joined GitLab. So this is basically the second kid to the family. And yeah, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Tim. Cool. Stella, I think you have the first question. Can you please verbalize it?
Yeah, so first of all, thanks for the slides and video. I really enjoyed that you're doing team days, and it seemed like your team is being very thoughtful about them. So I wanted to know, are there any kind of learnings you want to share, other things that teams should be doing to make the most of these?
Yeah, good question. So it's been across 2 sub-departments, one in the dev and then one in the a growth subdepartment. What I've seen is that they're really trying to do interaction, so focus on some type of game or some aspect of interaction to make sure that you get something outside of work collaboration, as you were. The other thing is they're trying to make it fun from that perspective. Where I know, like in the case of the growth team, they're doing a cooking class as an example. Tim, do you have other tips that you'd want to share based on it that you saw, or anybody else from the dev sub-department?
Yes.
Want to share?
There is, first of all, they worked really great. We got really great feedback, and I'm happy as soon as I have 2 hands again to, after the meeting, to link to some of the feedback that we got from the teams through the questionnaires. What also worked really well is simply a wide variety of things that you can play together, like draw sours and things like that. So there is a Slack channel from the previous team days, from the create and the plan group, and there you can find all the activities that they have done and what worked really well and was a lot of fun.
And I saw a lot of that in the deck and the presentation already, so I appreciate you sharing. It's great you're doing that. I think we need to do more of that throughout the organization. Cool.
John had the next question. He's not here to verbalize. Daniel Croft, I'm going to pick on you. Can you go ahead and verbalize the question?
Thanks, Christopher. Hi, everybody. Jean said, what is the intent, or asked, excuse me, what is the intent with regards to the tracking of handbook update frequency of development department pages? What behavior change are we hoping to drive among development team members?
Yeah, good question. This is one of these ones that I believe we debated it in engineering staff meeting. So I'd have to go back through the notes to get the exact kind of dialogue is going. Because I think what I remember is Eric basically put it up. I debated whether it should be like a rate versus viewing it in other ways. Ultimately, what we're really trying to drive is we're not trying to necessarily drive productivity from a rate perspective. What we're trying to drive is people to basically updating the handbook. So the thought process is we want to keep the handbook up to date. We want to keep it fresh. We also want to make sure that it's accurate as far as what we're actually doing. And this is one kind of high level measure to kind of evaluate that, to say, okay, are we still giving the same behavior of constant updates to the handbook associated with it? So that's kind of the thought process there. And, for all intents and purposes, we kind of set a target that was above what we saw as kind of the early average. And at least the first couple months that we've been starting to monitor, so it looks pretty promising in regards to the frequency has definitely gone up. So I'm guessing that our target will go up as well. Right now, it's not a key performance indicator, meaning it's something we evaluate our overall team performance based on it. It may move up at some point from that perspective, but right now we just view it as a performance indicator, monitor, and try to evaluate from that perspective. Cool. Don't see question 3 populated on my screen, so I'm assuming it's just an extra one. Sid, do you want to verbalize the next question?
Yeah, sorry, I left some space in case someone had a cursor there. It's first of all, great presentation. Love the focus on metrics, and it's really impressive how much we're able to measure and how much we're able to improve. I noticed that it said that the VS Code plugin was transferred to GitLab, the company, which is super exciting. And we're going to have an official one published soon. That is ahead of schedule as far as I'm concerned. That's great. Do you know what category this will fall under? Will we create a new category for this, and what team will this land in?
I don't know the answer to that, but Tim, do you have thoughts?
Yes. So right now we are putting this to the editor team, and we even have already one engineer actively working on the repository, doing security fixes and preparing also the first publishing of the first official release as a GitLab. We are currently in contact with Microsoft to do the active move also of the current installations to the official GitLab plugin. So we are basically taking with us the 150,000 installations that are already out there of that plugin. And so this will be with create and editor with the front-end team.
Great, that's very cool. Consider making it a category, maybe not a marketing one, because it might feel a bit out of place, but I mean that might be a consideration. And really awesome, like VS Code is becoming kind of the default developer environment. So great to have an official solution for that.
I'll just add in, Sid, about the category. We're thinking about a broader category in the space that's maybe not specific to VS Code, but maybe how do we do like a local developer kind of tooling category? And so I've been working on an Epic. I'll link the sort of draft of that Epic category that encompasses things like where we've been talking about the VS Code extension, but could also encompass remote runtime environments that developers working locally connect to and things like that. So how do we support developers working locally is sort of a category that we might broadly think about that can encompass more of these than very specifically VS Code.
Yeah, another option would be to call it IDE. So rename Web IDE to IDE and have the VS Code be part of that and have the Web IDE be part of that.
So I have the next question. I see that we've hired 3 interns recently, which is really exciting. Hi, interns, if you're on the call today. I'm just curious, is that going to be the full group of interns, or will there be more joining, in kind of the coming weeks? And can you share a little bit about what the interns will be working on?
Sure thing. The 3 interns that I referenced are the 3 interns for the development department. There's actually a whole intern program that was set up as a working group, and there are actually other interns in other departments, both within engineering and I think outside of engineering as well. For development, that is the cohort. That's the 3 that we have from that perspective. The intent with the interns is to give them as close to a GitLab experience that you would have as a software engineer as possible. So they'll be working within the code base, committing MRs, working iteratively from that perspective. From that aspect. As to the specific work tasks that they're going to be asked to do, I know that we had proposals that kind of came forward. I don't know the specifics of them. Darva, I know you have one. I don't know if you have enough that you could articulate, at least to give an example from that perspective.
Sure, definitely. Well, the first thing we want to do is introduce them to GitLab, the GitLab products. So we have some tasks for them to do that. We will be having them making some handbook updates, but also contributing to our issue board with smaller MRs. So we'll be doing pair programming with them. They'll be having coffee chats with different team members to do some networking. So the goal of the internship is for them to actually produce work and results for GitLab. And we just have a process to slowly get them there by the end of the internship.
So in that regard, it may be a little bit different than what some folks have seen in the summers where they have like a special project or something outside the work. The one thing we'll be obviously cautious about is anything they push into production will have a responsible software engineer, or responsible is the wrong term, I'm sorry, a full-time software engineer, basically to make sure that we're adequately supporting that as well.
Awesome, thanks for sharing.
Cool. This is going to be the shortest group conversation ever.
Does that mean we get to know what the Easter eggs are?
Oh gosh, I wondered if you were going to ask, Emily. So I was strapped for time this week. It's been kind of a little bit of a crazy week for me personally. My Easter egg was for anyone who watched the video. Did anybody notice? Wow. Okay, I was going to expect that somebody actually watched the video. The video was presented in reverse order as opposed to normal sequencing. So I actually went bottom up as opposed to normal one through sequencing. So Stella, you're the one who noticed. Okay.
Thanks, Christopher. It's always a joy to find.
Cool. Well, if there are no further questions, thanks everybody for a great group conversation as always, and always looking for feedback. So please provide it if you have an opportunity. Thank you very much.